Good evening. This is the 8th video presentation on what's happened at General Convention. Several things occurred today. Festivities continued around the Diocese of Cuba being received back into the Episcopal Church. House of Deputies concurred today with the House of Bishops, and there were flags, Cuban flags, lots of excitement, tears, and gratitude that they have been received back into the Episcopal Church again, given immediate seat, voice, and vote. Another thing that happened today was that we got to preview the budget. We haven't voted on it yet, just a little bit of a time for questions and answers. And I reported last night that there was to be no money for renovation of the prayer book. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. While $200,000 had been set aside for prayer book translation, no money was allocated for revising liturgy. So now, while we have a resolution that has passed both houses not to do prayer book revision, but to create new liturgies, at present there's no money in the budget. That doesn't mean that Executive Council can't find money to be able to do this, but at least in terms of the budget that we have seen right now, there is no money present. Something else that happened today was the passage in the House of Bishops around the resolution for gay marriage. Here's what it contains. What it says, in essence, is that gay marriage is to be allowed in the entire Episcopal Church. It also says that if there are congregations that want to perform gay marriages in their diocese and their bishop is theologically opposed to it, what has to happen is that they need to appeal to the bishop, and the bishop at that point grants them the capacity to be under the authority of another bishop of his choosing or her choosing, the bishop's choosing. So that in essence, matters of marriage, all matters of marriage, are now under the authority of another bishop in a congregation that is still a full member in the diocese in which the buildings are located. So you have a parish that's in a particular diocese. They are under the bishop of that diocese, but they want to do gay marriage, and therefore they appeal to the bishop, and the bishop then assigns them another bishop who will function as a pastor in all matters of marriage. That's where things are right now. It still, because of some technical glitches, has to go back to deputies for confirmation. And if there's any resolution that will probably have the most visible and present impact on our churches, it's that one. So we can expect to see some changes happen, and it really will be up to the bishop in each of those dioceses, including the Diocese of Central Florida, to figure out what that actually might look like, because it raises a lot of questions, as you could certainly imagine. Another thing that happened today that is of note is that both houses passed what is called the, quote, Communion Across Differences, unquote, task force. The task force is to be comprised of no more than 14 people that would be split right down the middle, 7 for, 7 against gay marriage, to try to say, how can we find a long-term way to live together? Are there ways that we can work out some, in essence, kind of truce? How's it being done in other parts of the communion? The call is to consult widely across the church, meaning across our communion, as well as other ecumenical partners, and to come up with some sort of solution to be presented at the next convention, which will of course be in 3 years. Since that passed, that it will now fall to that group, people that the presiding bishop appoints, to say that this present arrangement that we have, which is around the possibility of getting some sort of episcopal oversight for a congregation that wants to do gay marriage in a diocese where a bishop does not approve it, that there has to be a better long-term solution. So we'll see what happens with that. Probably there will be, those appointments will happen in the next 30 to 60 days at the conclusion of convention. And we'll see what that task force does over the next 3 years. I'm hopeful, actually, that that task force will help all of us in the Episcopal Church come together and to find a way forward that allows us to be able to live together in the midst of what is, in fact, a significant doctrinal difference. I look forward to reporting to you tomorrow night. It will be the next to the last report from General Convention. Thank you very, very much for your continued prayers. They are making all the difference in the world.